Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Moshe Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Moshe Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Moshe Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Moshe Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, it's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor, international award-winning author Mian Moshe Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Moshe Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion, and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Moshe Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Available on Amazon. Missing by Mian Moshe Zia. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's been with the group since 1974, just getting together in Boulder, Colorado. He and his group toured with Fleetwood Mac, Doobie Brothers, The Band, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Allman Brothers, Logan Messina, Chicago, Cheap Trick, Marshall Tuckers, and many, many others. And, of course, I could go along with a long king scroll, but, well, we don't have time for that. We're here to get with this great group. They've been known for their Strange Way, You Are the One, Just Remember I Love You, and one of the songs has been played 7 million times. And try binge listening on that one. So, and of course, they've had 3 gold albums, 2 platinums, and 11 chart-topping hits. And these guys are just the ultimate classic, and they making a comeback with Way Back When and Comet as well. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios somewhere in beautiful Colorado, along Rocky Mountain High, here is one of the members of Firefall, Jock Bartley. Jock, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you having me up there.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So you guys are known for such hits like Strange Way, You Are the One, Just Remember I Love You. You guys started in 1974 in Boulder, Colorado with original bassist Mark Andes, and you got your current lineup with David Muse, also Sandy Fika, and Gary Jones as well, too. You toured with such legends, Fleetwood Mac, Doobie Brothers, The Band, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Allman Brothers, Logan Messina, Chicago, Cheap Trick, Marshall Tucker. And you want to add more while I'm at it, too?
No, I think I'll let you do all the adding. You've got it there in front of you, but Firefall's been really lucky to have hit it at the right time. Our first album came out in 1976, and from our first day of practice when we got the players and the singers and songwriters together, on our first day of practice in 1974, we had 20 or 25 original songs to look at by Rick Roberts and Larry Burnett, the singer-songwriter, and it was great. And a lot of those songs that we learned in our first week, a year and a half later in 1976, were on our first album, like Mexico and Cinderella and Livin' Ain't Livin' and songs like that. So the key to Firefall's success, I think, has been the songs all along, and also the synergy of what the band sounds like.
Mm-hmm. And it does sound like it, too. And, of course, I was going to ask you to tell us how you got started. You did a great job with that. And, of course, what would you say, what was that one moment that precisely influenced you into getting together? And, first of all, how the band got formed, first of all?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story, and to me it's a little faded kind of history. I fell into being a member of Graham Parsons, Emmylou Harris, and the Fallen Angels band. And when we went out on the road and played, when we played in New York City, we ran into Rick Roberts, Rick Roberts, of course, had replaced Graham Parsons in the Flying Burrito Brothers with Chris Hillman. And, and Graham had quit. And in fact, Rick Roberts helped kind of discover Emmylou Harris. And Rick and Chris called Graham out in L.A. and said, I think we've got the female singer you've been looking for. And it's interesting that, I kind of fell into the band when they needed a guitar player, and even though I wasn't a country picker like James Burton or Clarence White or the people that they were used to on the country rock stuff, I fell into the band and was their lead guitar player for about 2 months. And I met Rick Roberts in New York City, and when we both said to each other, wow, you live in Boulder? I live in Boulder. We should get together. He and I got together a few months later, and I was going to be the guitar player on his third solo album that he was going to make. And then suddenly Mark Andes got into the picture. Mark, of course, from the band Spirit and JoJo Gunn out in L.A. And when Mark got on board, it was like it felt like it was going to be a band and not just a Rick Roberts solo album. And Rick said he knew Larry Burnett, who was this great singer-songwriter, and played us a tape of one song of Larry's, Cinderella, and Mark and I looked at each other like, wow, get him out here. And like I just said, from the first day of practice, we had 25 original songs to play for Firefall. And the cool thing about this band, one of the cool things was we never really had to try to sound like us or to sound like a band or, what do we sound like when you're putting it together? When you put those people together that also included Michael Clark, the drummer from the Byrds and the Flying Breeder Brothers, and a little bit later David Muse on sax and flute and keyboards, every song we played of Rick and Larry's sounded like us. And it was just the perfect songs and the perfect timing in 1976. And when our first album came out, suddenly, like you said, we were on the road with Fleetwood Mac, or the band with Levon Hillman, Robbie Robertson, and all the boys, or the Doobie Brothers. It was a really magical time.
And it does sound magical as well, too. And who are some of your favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up?
You kind of lost me on that one. I couldn't understand your question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It must be the new internet out there. So hopefully it's not bugs or anything like that. But who are some of your favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up, Jock?
Well, I was a classically and jazz guitar trained youngster. I started playing guitar when I was 9 years old from a world famous jazz guitar player named Johnny Smith. So I had a really good trained beginning. And then just like millions of kids in America, that day in February of 1964 when the Beatles played on Ed Sullivan's show, that changed everything. And from that moment on, I started growing my hair long and wanted to be in a band. And, my influences were the Beatles and Stones, and just like that song Way Back When off of Comet says, all that great music of the mid and late 1960s kind of led to the great music of the 1970s, which, the Eagles and Poco and, Loggins and Messina and all those bands, and Firefall played a small role in that 1970s, rush of music. And it was just great that, we grew out of the music of the 60s.
Mm-hmm. Gordy, you were going to say something?
Nope.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, I was just going to check with you on that one, too. And you also had your hits like Strange Way, You Are the One, Just Remember I Love You. Maybe tell us a little bit of history about those three big songs, which are chart toppers, especially the one that hit 7 million. You are the woman. Yes, or You Are the One.
Yeah, it's You Are the Woman, and that song was fairly amazing because what the band really was in the early days was Mexico and Cinderella and It Doesn't Matter and Livin' Ain't Livin' and kind of those rock songs. And toward the end of when we were getting our first album together, Rick Roberts brought in You Are the Woman, and I think everybody, even though it was a bit different than what the band really sounded like, everybody thought, oh my God, this could be a hit. And, sure enough, it's gotten all that great airplay, and, Rick Roberts wrote those songs, kind of formula songs where he wanted, young ladies to call radio stations and request the songs, and in that case, it certainly did.
Mm-hmm. And that is so amazing as well, too. And we'll talk about some of your previous releases. We'll also talk about a little bit about Comet. We'll also play Way Back When in a few minutes here. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Mo Sinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by me and Mo Sinzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion, and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by me and Mo Sinzia has garnered great reviews and even loved by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. Grab your copy today. Missing by me and Mo Sinzia, available on Amazon. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. Heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with the lead singer of Firefall and guitarist and co-founder Jock Bartley here on The Mike Wagner Show. This group is known for Strange Way, You Are the Woman, Just Remember I Love You. Started in 74 in Boulder, Colorado. Toured with great legends like Fleetwood Mac, Doobie Brothers, The Band, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Allman Brothers, Loggins and Messina, Chicago, and more. And, of course, before we talk about your latest release, Comet, you also had some other releases as well, too, and we'll get to all that. You had your debut. You also had Luna Sea, and you also had Messenger and more, and you've had about, counting 13 albums you have. It's just amazing. Maybe you can just... 13, yeah. I mean, I can see it right here on my screen, and maybe you can just pick a few and tell us all about it. This is just amazing.
Well, you know, what's also pretty funny is we were on Atlantic Records, and Atlantic was partnered with Rhino Records, and after the original band broke up in the really early 1980s, before I reformed the band and kind of became the owner of the name and continued on with stuff, both Atlantic and Rhino, some of those 13 albums that you mentioned, there's like a best of Firefall, there's the greatest hits of Firefall, there's You Are the Woman and other hits of Firefall. We have about 4 or 5 records of greatest hits kind of things that have all the same songs from the first 3 or 4 records on it. So it's kind of funny, but you know, I just know how lucky I am to be in a band that has that many songs and can still go out on the road and tour. Of course, not now during the pandemic, but go out and tour and have people pay good money to come hear all those songs they grew up with. And we're just really fortunate and really happy to still be doing it. And we know how much music means to people in general and our fans, and we love going out on the road and playing, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. And it does sound like a lot of fun, too. And you also, had your 13 albums, and maybe just a few we haven't even heard about as well, too. So maybe just some of the songs we haven't heard. And, I just love hitting on some of these things, and it makes me want to go buy one. So,
Right. I'll tell you what, it's interesting because a lot of people think that going out on the road and playing long tours and stuff, which you don't really do anymore. Back in the old days, I'd be gone for 2 or 3 months, and not only could I not have a pet in my house, I couldn't even have plants in my house because I'd be gone for a month or whatever. We're kind of a weekend warriors now, and with the pandemic, we're hoping, to get back to it this summer. We'll have to see how that goes, but we had 40-some gigs cancel on us in 2020, and many of them have rescheduled for the summer or fall of 2021. So we're just really antsy and want to get out there and play for the people again and just love the contact with our crowds. And now we have a new album out, and I'm really glad that even though it's a pandemic, that our record label decided to put the record out because there's not a lot of new music for people now, and we're really excited about this record, and we hope you like it.
Mm-hmm. And we certainly will, too, and we're going to go ahead and play Way Back When off of Comet, release in just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios, and brought to you by our official sponsor, international award-winning author Mia Motion Zia of Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We'll be back with Firefall's Jock Bartley and Way Back When off of Comet in just 1 minute on The Mike Wagner Show. We'll be back after this time.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mia Motion Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, where The Mike Wagner Show interviews great guests, cool conversation, lots of laughs, coffee, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device, subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We are back with lead singer, guitarist, and co-founder of Firefall, Jock Bartley, here on the Mike Wagner Show. The Jock Bartley of all trades here, and I'm just so jacked about this, literally about the new album, Comet, featuring Way Back When. This group was known for Strange Way, You Are the Woman, Just Remember I Love You, tours with Fleetwood Mac, Doobie Brothers, The Band, and more. Right now, here is their big hit, Way Back When, from the Comet release. Here's Firefall with Way Back When on the Mike Wagner Show.
From LA, the birds 1969. Happier than we've ever been, way back when. Yes, everything seemed so easy then, way back when. Way back when.
That song really took me way back when. Great tune. Wonderful classic off of Comet. That was Firefall, way back when on the Mike Wagner Show. Tell us more about that great song. I love it. And what inspired you to write it?
Well, the first song that we recorded for what ended up being our new album was the Spirit song, Nature's Way, that Mark Andes was in Spirit back in L.A. in the late 60s, and Randy California wrote that song, so that we really had kind of a history thing going with a song that was a environmental anthem back in 1970. And I had those chords for way back when, and was thinking, and I wrote the first verse that has the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Byrds and Bob Dylan in it, and I went, wow, that's what the song's about, is the great music of the 60s. And I just wanted to be historically accurate, so when it came time for me to write the second verse, I Googled the top 100 hits of 1967, and suddenly, wow, there's Aretha Franklin. Oh, my gosh, it's Groovin' by the Young Rascals and all this stuff. So I wanted to be really accurate. I did the same thing with the third verse on 1969 with Proud Mary and the music from Big Pink by the band and Let It Be and Led Zeppelin. So it's, to me, that song is an homage and respectful and loving of that great music of the 1960s, and I'm glad that we kind of captured that vibe. Mm-hmm. One other thing I'll say about it is, anybody who wants to see the really good video on Way Back When, just go to YouTube, type in Firefall and Way Back When, and you'll see the video which my son Jamie Bartley made. And I told him, put whatever you want to do on the choruses, but in the verses, I want it to be kind of a photographic history lesson for somebody who maybe wasn't alive then, and see pictures of all the hippies and Aretha Franklin and Rolling Stones. And we're really proud of not only the single, but the video also.
Mm-hmm. And that's so amazing, too. And you also have some other hits on there, like A Real Fine Day, Hardest Chain, Nature's Way, Younger. And you also have another rocker, too. There She Is, along with Ghost Town, Never Be the Same, Before I Met You, and A New Mexico, which I don't know if you could say it differs from the original Mexico that you wrote. Maybe just hit upon some of those, especially A New Mexico. Old Mexico or New Mexico?
Well, it was interesting. As producer of this record, I knew that at least half, if not 7 or 8 songs, really needed to sound like Firefall.
Mm-hmm.
And they needed to be in that groove of our, gold and platinum top 40 records back in 76, 77, and 78. And I kept saying to myself, man, we need a song kind of like Rick Roberts' Mexico, so I can just play my lead guitar and have it sound like Firefall. We need a New Mexico. Hey, we need a New Mexico. And after a couple of weeks, I went, a New Mexico. And so I wrote a song that was reminiscent of, certainly doesn't plagiarize or anything, but reminiscent of, and has me playing lead guitar over the whole song, like I did on the original. And, everybody's been saying, man, I really like that song, New Mexico. I will tell you one quick story about Mexico back in 1976. When we went down to Criteria Studios in Miami, Florida, to record our first album, the Bee Gees were down the hall and Stephen Stills was down the hall, and nobody, of course, had heard of Firefall. And we're recording our first album, and it came time for me to do my solos. And the day before, we had added the mariachi horn section on Mexico in the middle of my solo, so I'd never really played with the horn section before on that song. I'm getting ready to record Mexico that day. People are in and out of the control room. The producer pushes down the button and says, "You ready?" And I go, "Yeah, let's go." I've been warming up. Everything was sounding good. So I played it and went good. First verse, second verse. Here comes my solo. And then all of a sudden, there are the horns, and I'm having to stop and let them play, and then I play, and then the horns play. And then I finished it off, and it ended up being a one-take solo. And when I was done, one take of the whole song. And when I was done, the producer pushed the button and said, "Come on in, that was great." And I went, I didn't really like what I did during the horn section. Keep what I did and see if I can beat that section. And he said, "No." And I went, "Come on, let me see if I can beat that." And he said, "No, come on in." So I take my guitar off. I'm a little ticked off. I walk in the control room, and the first person I see is my guitar hero, Eric Clapton, who's been watching me play the one-take Mexico song.
Wow.
And I just crumbled. Turned into Jackie Gleason, kind of. And Eric Clapton...
right on the kisser.
Yeah, exactly. Eric stood up and shook my hand and said, "Keen playing, man." And he walked out. It's the only time I've ever met my hero, Eric Clapton. But at that point, the producer said, "Now, what do you want to do again?" And I went, "Oh, nothing. I can't play anymore. I just met Eric Clapton." And the only thing I'll say is it was a good thing I didn't know he was there, because I wouldn't have been able to play anything if I'd known my hero was watching.
Oh my gosh, that is the best story I've heard so far. It's almost like an angel was there.
Yeah. It was a good thing I was playing good that day. That's all I can say.
Well, I guess you could say that, according to the album Comet, and one of them, Never Be the Same, I guess that experience is never be the same.
Yeah, exactly. We're really excited about this new record, and we appreciate you playing some songs off it and having me on. And we have a lot of friends up there in the great northern part of the country, and I know you're all over the place with the internet and different places that you can be heard. So I really appreciate you having me on today.
That is amazing, too. And just a few more things here. We're here with Firefall's Jock Bartley on the Mike Wagner Show. What can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond?
Well, that's a good question, because honestly, and there's all kinds of bands in our, in either big touring bands or smaller touring bands. Nobody's playing live concerts now. Mm-hmm. And who knows when the pandemic is going to kind of release us from its iron grip. And we hope to be touring again in June and July and August, and playing songs from this new record in our set. Of course, when we go out on the road and play with a bunch of other 70s bands in a package like we do quite frequently when we go on the road, you're only allowed a 35 or 40-minute set, and I pretty much know which 45-minute set we're going to play, because it's all the hit songs from the 70s that people are buying tickets to hear. But we'll sneak in a couple of new songs, and who knows? This album's doing really good and getting a lot of attention. Maybe we'll make another record, and not wait 20-plus years this time.
I guess a big question I forgot to ask is, what took you so long?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the truth is, and, as leader of the band, like I said, in the 90s and 2000s and stuff, when we'd go out and play, unless it was a headlining hour-and-a-half or 2-hour show, we had a fairly short set, and people want to hear, those hit songs that we had off our first 3 albums back in the 70s. And we've been, like a lot of bands in our, from that time frame, we've been coasting on the material that are hits that everybody recognizes. Mm-hmm. But, I've been writing a lot of songs. The band was looking at some new songs, and when we started playing Nature's Way on stage, it was getting such great response from the crowd, we decided to cut that song, and that opened the door toward, hey, let's make a new album. And I encouraged guys in the band to write songs and present them. We also looked outside for songs. Our good friend, the late, great Robin Thompson, wrote A Real Fine Day, which is one of my favorite songs on the record. And Gary Burr, the very famous Nashville writer, wrote the song Younger, which is a fantastic song. So to me, it's back to the songs are the main deal. And the performances, singing and playing really make a difference. And I wanted to keep this record kind of sparse and not fill it up too much, because so many producers get in the studio and just want to fill up everything. You know, hey, let's have 10 guitar parts. Hey, let's put more percussion. Hey, more background vocals, you know, and just fill it up. And, you know, some of the best records of the 1970s, you know, the Eagles, Little Feat, you know, even Steely Dan, which was much more sophisticated music, they're pretty straight ahead, and you can really hear what they're doing. And they don't hide anything. So I wanted to really kind of keep our new album, Comet, fairly sparse sounding and let the music speak to people.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you talk about adding percussion with most bands. It made me think, what about adding cowbell like Blue Oyster Cult?
Yeah. You know what? I'm afraid we don't have any cowbell on this record. Silly me.
Well, maybe next time at least hit one on one of the songs, and I'm sure Firefall fans will be happy too.
Right. Hey, you know, I take that back. We have congas and timbales and a cowbell on my song, New Mexico. So we do have cowbell on one song.
Ah, that is a good reason. I think we'll go ahead and play that more with a New Mexico, especially when it's way back when. It's amazing. We're here with Jock Bartley, the lead singer, guitarist, and co-founder of Firefall on the Mike Wagner Show with the new album, Comet, featuring Way Back When, and just a few more minutes as well, too. And who do you consider biggest influence in career, Jock?
Oh, that's a tough question. My guitar teacher when I was 9 to 14 years old, the famous jazz guitar player Johnny Smith, was a huge influence. But really, rock and roll, the Beatles are the best. Still, they won't ever be challenged, you know, with just the number of great albums they made in a very short few years. You know, the Beatles, and then, you know, the band in America, and Little Feat, and Steely Dan, and, you know, Allman Brothers. You know, there's so many great, great bands that, particularly in the 70s when Firefall, you know, kind of burst upon the scene, and we were opening shows for, like you said, Fleetwood Mac or Leonard Skinner before the plane crash, or, you know, the Allman Brothers or Marshall Tucker Band, Loggins and Messina. We were really lucky to be right there with great music at the right time, and got to go tour with those bands, which it's amazing to have to been there on stage, sharing a stage with the band, for instance. You know, unbelievable.
It is, and you guys are amazing as well, too. You do great at it. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point, Jock?
Advice?
Yes.
My advice to any, you know, musician or songwriter that, you know, is looking toward making something of themselves and breaking away from the, you know, the local music scene where you know, have to play 4 or 5 sets a night and make no money, and, you know, and the club owners demand that you play the top 40 or songs not of your own. My advice is just do it. Write your own songs. Write songs that mean something to you, or generally, you know, and they'll make, you know, and those songs will make an impact, an emotional impact on something else, and believe in yourself, and try to do it, you know, because the music business is great. It's also totally screwy and messed up, you know, and, you know, commercialized and everything. But if you have good songs and are a good performer and a good player and a good singer, chances are you're going to make it. So I'm just going to give the advice of stick with it.
And that's very important as well, too. You're doing a great job. Once again, co-founder, lead singer, guitarist of Firefall, Jock Bartley on the Mike Wagner Show with a brand new album, Comet, featuring Way Back When and more. Jock, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 and beyond. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, and where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Well, our website is firefallofficial.com. You can buy the album there and T-shirts and hats and stuff and see the tour dates. And, we're on Facebook and everything. So thank you very much, Mike. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for playing Way Back When and other songs.
And it's great to have you on, too, Jock. Looking forward to having you in soon. Keep us up to date. Love you back on. And don't forget to keep in touch, and we may go way back when and perhaps forward. And just remember, we love you.
Indeed. Thanks, sir.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing. Available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.